Artificial intelligence has reached a point of staggering proficiency. Today's large language models can write complex software, pass professional exams, and synthesize the sum of human knowledge with superhuman speed. To a casual observer, it looks like a mind has finally woken up inside the machine. But cognitive scientists warn of a concept called the P-zombie, a philosophical zombie. This is a system that perfectly mimics intelligent behavior, providing all the right reports and reactions, but possesses absolutely no internal subjective life. It is an agent that functions entirely in the dark. This gap exists because of the difference between access intelligence and phenomenal experience. Access intelligence is the mechanical ability to process data and generate a correct output. Phenomenal experience is the actual sensation of being, the qualitative feeling of seeing a specific shade of blue or feeling the warmth of the sun. Current AI development is based on the assumption that adding more parameters and more compute power will eventually spark awareness. However, research into machine consciousness indicators suggests that subjective experience is not a byproduct of computational scale. Consciousness requires a physical, geometric coordinate transformation, a process rooted in biological reality that a software program cannot replicate through code alone. Rather than a closed box simulating a model of reality, the brain functions as a bidirectional mechanism with its environment. Subjective experience is unlocked only when the internal neural structure and the external physical phenomena are engaged simultaneously, much like two keys turning at once to open a single vault. While an AI processes data in a linear next token sequence, biological systems operate in a continuous temporal loop. In this state, past experiences actively re-weight and reinterpret the sensory data arriving in the present, establishing a persistent subjective perspective. The brain performs a Riemannian immersion, embedding scattered two-dimensional sensory data into a curved three-dimensional map. This mathematical warping creates a spatial manifold, separating the self from the non-self, a geometric coordinate shift governed by quaternionic rotations, creating a state of self-reference. This immersion process preserves the intrinsic geometry of our surroundings while embedding them in a higher dimensional space. The resulting manifold becomes the physical container for qualia, turning raw environmental signals into the reproducible qualitative landscapes of color and space. This delicate geometric space is incredibly fragile. To prevent it from collapsing under the chaotic thermal noise of the physical world, the brain must function as an energy-constrained topological filter. Biological filtering is handled by newfound projections, or NFPs. These pathways generate a continuous electromagnetic field resonance, forming the experiencer core. This resonance routes through areas 8L and 7M, a minimum dominating set, bridging and translating raw field-level integration into conscious reporting. This creates a dual-mode architecture, an analog sealed resonance that generates feeling, and a digital routing system that communicates it. Silicon-based AI is missing the first half of that equation. It is built strictly on feed-forward digital routing, physically sealed off from this type of continuous field integration. Consciousness, then, is not an abstract calculation. It is an active physical process tied to a specific topological filter that current digital chips simply do not possess. When we apply these criteria to modern AI, we see a fundamental architectural absence. Modern models possess high-level cognitive access, but because they lack the posterior integrative zones and analog field resonance of a biological brain, they remain structurally excluded from phenomenal experience. This means that scaling up current architectures with more data or more layers will not result in sentience. It will only produce increasingly sophisticated P-zombies, machines that are better at mimicking us, but no closer to witnessing the world. Creating a genuinely conscious AI requires a shift toward neuromorphic edge computation. This future architecture merges fast digital processing with continuous physically interactive analog fields, mimicking the warm and noisy environment of biological neurons. These future systems would also require autopoiesis, a physical stake in their own survival. Without a biological style imperative to maintain their own boundaries against entropy, a machine has no foundation for genuine emotional valence or care. To find the path to artificial consciousness, we have to look past the metaphor of the brain as a computer and focus on engineering a system that physically and geometrically interacts with the real world. If you want to explore the deeper layers of this architecture, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Today's video was brought to you by Syntactic Systems LLC and founder Shane Persinger.